All right, if council people can get back to their seats, wherever you are. I know, well, what if I said 5?
There's only so many bathrooms in this place, sir.
All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Delaquila.
Here?
Director of Law Pignatello.
Here.
Director of Finance Herwick. Here. Councilman at Large Elliott.
Here.
Councilwoman at Large Kelly.
Here.
Councilwoman at Large Stager.
Here.
Ward 1 Councilman Biassiata.
Here.
Ward 2 Councilman Robel.
Here.
Ward 3 Councilman Snitsky. Ward 4 Councilman Greenwald.
Here.
Director of Public Service and Properties Levis.
Here.
Building Commissioner Vitardi.
Here.
Engineer Collins.
Here.
I move that we excuse Councilman Snitsky due to illness.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Greenwald.
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Stager.
Yes.
Robel.
Yes.
Councilman Snitsky's been excused due to illness. We'll now have the reading and disposal of the journal.
Mr. President,
Councilman Romo.
I move that we amend the minutes of the regular council meeting held April 9, 2018, so that the reference to Resolution 7-2018 on page 8, occurring twice, be changed to Resolution number 8, 2018.
I second.
Roll call.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Greenwald.
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Stager.
Yes.
Robel.
Yes.
Council meeting minutes of April 9th have been amended. Further motion?
Yes, Mr. President.
Councilman Romo.
Having read the amended minutes of the meeting held April 9th, I find no errors or omissions, and therefore move that we approve said minutes.
I second.
Roll call.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Greenwald.
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Stager.
Yes.
Robel.
Yes.
Minutes have been approved. Consent agenda.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Kelly.
if there is no division of the question, I move that we accept the consent agenda for April 23rd, 2018.
I second.
Roll call.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Greenwald.
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Stager.
Yes.
Robel.
Yes.
Consent agenda has been approved. We now have a resolution of accommodation, and we're going to have the full reading. I motion that we, for its first and final reading, read in its entirety Resolution number 9-2018.
Second.
Biassiata.
Hold on. I'm sorry. I just wanted to do the reading. Do we, Councilman Elliott, any comments?
First, I'd like to thank Justin for getting back so quickly. I think it was one phone call and we got it done. I appreciate it. The residents, thank you too.
Councilman Kelly?
I would also like to say thank you, Justin, for your generous donation, and thank you, Councilman Elliott, for working with Justin to obtain that for us.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to echo Councilwoman Kelly's an appreciation to Councilman Elliott for spearheading this project, and much appreciation to Invisible Fence of Cleveland West and Justin for being here tonight to accept this accommodation. As I campaign, many people love their pets in Seven Hills, and your donation one day could lead to saving a beloved pet. And I know how much a person can love a pet firsthand. Any further comment from council?
I'm one of those people who just really loves those my cat. So thank you.
Okay, we'll now proceed with the first and final reading of resolution number 9, 2018.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Greenwald.
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Stager.
Yes.
Robel.
Yes.
Resolution number 9, 2018, introduced by Mayor Delaquila and councilpersons Biassiata, Kelly, Elliott, Stager, Robel, Snitsky, and Greenwald. A resolution of commendation to Invisible Fence of Cleveland West for the donation of oxygen recovery mask kits for pets. Whereas Invisible Fence of Cleveland West generously donated oxygen recovery mask kits for pets through their Project Breathe program to be used by the City of Seven Hills Fire Department for resuscitating pets in times of need. And whereas the mayor and council and all elected and appointed officials hereby specifically wish to thank and recognize Invisible Fence of Cleveland West for their heartfelt donation of the oxygen recovery mask kits for pets and for their community-based service to Seven Hills families and their cherished pets. Now therefore be it resolved by the council of the city of Seven Hills, Ohio, that the appreciation of the mayor, council, and all other elected and appointed officials is hereby extended to Invisible Fence of Cleveland West for their generous donation of oxygen recovery mask kits for pets to the Seven Hills Fire Department through their Project Breathe program. That the clerk of council be and she is hereby authorized and directed to forward a certified copy of this resolution to Invisible Fence of Cleveland West immediately upon its adoption hereof. That this resolution is hereby determined to be an emergency measure necessary for the immediate preservation of the public peace, health, safety, and welfare of the city of Seven Hills, and for the further reason that same affects the day-to-day business of the municipality. Wherefore this resolution shall take effect and be in force immediately upon its adoption, otherwise at the earliest period allowed by law.
Mr. President,
Councilman Elliott.
I move that we suspend the rules under the charter and read resolution number 9-2018 by title only for its final reading.
Okay. Now we'll do a motion to approve.
Yeah, I know.
That's what you just did. Okay.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Greenwald.
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Stager.
Yes.
Robel.
Yes.
Okay, motion to approve.
Mr. President,
Councilman Elliott.
I move that we pass resolution 9-2018.
I second. Roll call.
Okay. Biassiata.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Greenwald.
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Stager.
Yes.
Robel.
Yes.
Resolution 9, 2018 has been adopted. Justin, if you can approach, and I'm going to ask Councilman Elliott to do the presentation honors.
I'm gonna step down there. Again, I thank you for getting back to me so quickly on it. The city appreciates it. I wish everything that we did was that quick and easy. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Can I get a photo of you two? And Justin, hold the proclamation towards me. We'll get the perfect. Thank you both.
Thank you. Okay. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome to stay. They're really riveting. Okay, congratulations. Okay, reports of committees. Planning, Zoning, Economic Development. That Councilman Stitsky is out illness today, so we're going to move on to Public Works.
Mr. President, the next meeting of the Public Works Committee will be May 8th. The minutes of previous meetings are on deposit with the clerk.
Isn't that 7th? May 7th?
Is it?
I think so.
I apologize. It's actually May 7th.
All good.
My
Community
calendar and the
Services.
clock are wrong.
Thank you, Mr. President. Our last meeting was on April 2nd. The minutes are on file with the council clerk, and our next meeting is scheduled for May 7th.
Police and Safety.
Thank you, sir. Our last meeting was April 16th. Our next meeting is going to be May 21st, and the meeting minutes are on file with the clerk.
Rules, Ordinance, and Ethics.
The last special meeting was held on April 16th. Those minutes are pending. The next meeting, regular scheduled meeting, is May 7th, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilwoman Stager. I mispronounced it earlier. I apologize.
Twice.
3 or 4 times. Parks and Recreation.
Yes, Mr. President. Our last meeting was on April 16th. Those minutes are pending, and our next meeting will be on May 21st.
Our last finance meeting was April 16th. The next will be May 7th. No appointments and confirmations today. Clerk, any communication, petitions, or claim?
Yes. I'd first like to acknowledge for the record that advertisements for bids for the 2018 natatorium structural repair project will appear in the Sun Post this week, Thursday, and next week, Thursday. Bid opening scheduled for May 25th, 2018. It's open to the public if anyone is interested in attending. Next, I have a letter from Nino J. Ceriti, 6841 Drexel Drive. He's writing to Mayor Delaquila as follows. Dear Mayor Delaquila, as you know, University Hospitals has chosen this year to initiate its option to pare down the UH Parma Hospital Board of Directors. Therefore, after the University Hospital annual meeting of May 1st, my tenure as representative board from Seven Hills will come to an end. Having started in May 2012, previous to the UH acquisition, it is with sadness that I leave this position. I am confident, however, that our remaining member representative from Seven Hills, Eric Moore, will continue to work tirelessly for the residents of our city. He's been a friend and mentor to me during my 6 years of service on the board. His dedication, his knowledge, and expertise will continue bringing good results for our residents. During my tenure, Eric and I have been steadfast in working to make sure the residents of our fine city had the very best available medical facilities at their disposal. Of special note, in these 6 years of service, we first, after very careful deliberation, voted to allow university hospitals to acquire Parma Community General Hospital in 2014, a decision that allows our residents access to a world-class, 5-star CMS-rated medical facility, a rating only 337 hospitals share out of the total of 4,805 medical facilities in the country. Fought aggressively to force a deal to bring the UH Physical Rehabilitation Satellite Office to its location inside the Seven Hills Recreation Center in order to generate cash flow for the city, but more importantly, provide convenient, high-quality rehabilitation services to our residents. Next, as members of the Quality and Professional Affairs Committee vetted clinical practitioners, choosing who were allowed to practice their skills at UHPMC, making sure they were the very best at delivering vital medical services to the patients served. I respectfully suggest it has been a successful 6 years full of changes that help make Seven Hills a better place to move into, raise a family, and live a fuller life. Although this part of my work is done, I remain a volunteer on the Patient Family Partner Council, helping bring good patient outcomes and help advise on best practices to patients and families. I also remain in tenure as a UH System Board of Trustee and receive quarterly updates from and provide feedback to University Hospitals Health System senior leadership in order to guide business in going forward. Finally, I'm in discussion with the Parma Hospital Healthcare Foundation for a possible board position. This would allow me to have a role in providing guidance in the use of funds in various projects at the hospital. In closing, I am proud and humbled to have been asked by you, Mayor Delaquila, to help represent our citizens on the UH Parma Medical Center Board of Directors and stand by to assist in future city endeavors if and when called upon to do so. Respectfully yours, Nino J. Ceriti. And that's all we have tonight.
Thank you. Council is now open to the audience on legislation only. First row, second row, third row, fourth row, fifth row, back row. Okay. Ordinances and resolutions. Ordinance 28-2018.
Mr. President,
Councilman Greenwald.
I move that we suspend the rules under the charter and read ordinance number 28-2018 for its third and final reading.
Second.
Roll call.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Greenwald.
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Stager.
Yes.
Roble.
Yes.
Ordinance number 28, 2018, introduced by Mayor Delaquila and councilpersons Biassiata, Kelly, Elliott, Stager, Roble, Snitsky, and Greenwald. An ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into an agreement on behalf of the city of Seven Hills with the city of Broadview Heights for the provision of dispatching and jail services to the city of Seven Hills and appropriating an amount not to exceed $13,000 per month for dispatch service and $85 per prisoner day or fraction thereof for jail services.
Mr. President,
Councilman.
I move that we pass ordinance number 28-2018.
Second.
Roll call.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Greenwald.
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Stager.
Yes.
Roble.
Yes.
Ordinance 28-2018 has been approved. Moving on to ordinance 29-2018.
Mr. President,
Councilman.
I move that we suspend the rules under the charter and read ordinance 29-2018 by title only for its third and final reading.
Roll call.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Greenwald.
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Stager.
Yes.
Roble.
Yes.
Ordinance 29, 2018, introduced by Mayor Delaquila and councilpersons Biassiata, Kelly, Elliott, Stager, Roble, Snitsky, and Greenwald. An ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into an agreement on behalf of the city of Seven Hills with the city of Cleveland to participate in and operate radio equipment on the city of Cleveland's 800 MHz digital radio system in the city of Seven Hills.
Further motion?
Mr. President,
Councilman.
I move that we pass ordinance 29-2018.
I second.
Roll call.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Greenwald.
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Stager.
Yes.
Roble.
Yes.
Ordinance 29-2018 has been approved. Moving on to the second reading of amended ordinance 31-2018.
Amended ordinance number 31, 2018, introduced by Mayor Delaquila and councilpersons Biassiata, Kelly, Elliott, Stager, Roble, Snitsky, and Greenwald. An ordinance authorizing the purchase of 4,000 tons of road salt through the Ohio Department of Transportation Consortium.
We'll now have the second reading of ordinance 33-2018.
Ordinance 33, 2018, introduced by Mayor Delaquila and councilpersons Biassiata, Kelly, Elliott, Stager, Roble, Snitsky, and Greenwald. An ordinance authorizing the city of Seven Hills to enter into a premium holiday agreement with Medical Mutual of Ohio as a change order to ordinance number 109, 2017, passed by council on September 25th, 2017, and authorizing and directing the mayor to sign on behalf of the city of Seven Hills any and all documents necessary to implement and give force and effect to said change order.
Now I have the second reading of ordinance 34-2018.
Ordinance 34, 2018, introduced by Mayor Delaquila and councilpersons Biassiata, Kelly, Elliott, Stager, Robel, Snitsky, and Greenwald. An ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into a contract with Jackson, Deacon, and Associates of Westlake, Ohio, and appropriating a sum not to exceed $5,050 for the furnishing of cyber insurance coverage, issuing company Lloyds/CFC for a term of 1 year.
We'll now have the second reading of ordinance 35-2018.
Ordinance 35, 2018, introduced by Mayor Delaquila and councilpersons Biassiata, Kelly, Elliott, Stager, Robel, Snitsky, and Greenwald. An ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into an agreement on behalf of the city of Seven Hills, Ohio, with Richard L. Bowen and Associates Incorporated of Cleveland, Ohio, in an amount not to exceed $213,850 to serve as the authorized representative of the city to supervise the construction phase of the Hemlock Creek Watershed Utility Improvements Project.
We'll now have the second reading of ordinance 36-2018.
Ordinance 36, 2018, introduced by Mayor Delaquila and councilpersons Biassiata, Kelly, Elliott, Stager, Robel, Snitsky, and Greenwald. An ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into an agreement for services from the Ohio Association of Chiefs of Police, Incorporated, Advisory Services Division, on behalf of the city of Seven Hills, Ohio, for professional services to be rendered in the pre-assessment process and assessment center process for the rank of lieutenant and sergeant of the city of Seven Hills Police Department, and appropriating a sum not to exceed $10,800 for said services.
Now I have the second reading of ordinance 37-2018.
Ordinance 37, 2018, introduced by Mayor Delaquila and councilpersons Biassiata, Kelly, Elliott, Stager, Robel, Snitsky, and Greenwald. An ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into an agreement on behalf of the city of Seven Hills, Ohio, with Richard L. Bowen and Associates Incorporated of Cleveland, Ohio, in an amount not to exceed $11,750 for professional services proposed regarding the 2017 City of Seven Hills National Pollution Discharge Elimination System Stormwater Program.
We'll now have the second reading of ordinance 38-2018.
Ordinance number 38, 2018, introduced by Mayor Richard Delaquila, an ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into an agreement on behalf of the city of Seven Hills, Ohio, with Richard L. Bowen and Associates Incorporated of Cleveland, Ohio, to provide professional engineering and architectural services as requested by the city for the period covering May 1st, 2018 through April 30th, 2020.
I move that we suspend the rules under the charter and read ordinance 39-2018 by title only for its first and final reading.
Second.
Roll call.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Greenwald.
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Stager.
Yes.
Robel.
Yes.
Ordinance 39, 2018, introduced by Mayor Delaquila and councilpersons Biassiata, Kelly, Elliott, Stager, Robel, Snitsky, and Greenwald. An ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into an agreement on behalf of the city of Seven Hills, Ohio, with Baruch Development Partners, LLC of Cleveland, Ohio, for professional consulting services in regard to evaluating the financial implications of the proposed Rockside Road development of a senior housing facility in the city of Seven Hills, appropriating an amount not to exceed $7,500 for said service and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. We're proposing to pass this on emergency tonight for timing. 2 weeks ago, Glenn's Landing presented economic development package to the city. So at that point, we recommended bringing in a real estate professional to evaluate that offer. And by passing this on emergency night allows that work to begin post haste. So without any further comments from council? No, I move that we pass ordinance 39-2018.
Second.
Roll call.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Greenwald.
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Stager.
Yes.
Robel.
Yes.
Ordinance 39-2018 has been approved. Now, the first reading of ordinance 40-2018.
Ordinance number 40, 2018, introduced by councilpersons Biassiata, Kelly, Elliott, Stager, Robel, Snitsky, and Greenwald. An ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into an annual professional service contract with Debbie Makowski, Opportunity Incorporated, in an amount not to exceed $5,000 for the purpose of conducting Fit Happens fitness classes at the City of Seven Hills Recreation Complex for the period covering January 1st to December 31st, 2018.
Now move on to ordinance 41-2018.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Kelly.
I move that we suspend the rules under the charter and amend ordinance number 41-2018 by adding an emergency.
I second.
Roll call.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Greenwald.
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Stager.
Yes.
Robel.
Yes.
Ordinance 41-2018's been amended. Do we have a further motion?
Yes, Mr. President. I move that we suspend the rules under the charter and read amended ordinance number 41-2018 by title only for its final reading.
I second.
Roll call.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Greenwald.
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Stager.
Yes.
Robel.
Yes.
Amended ordinance number 41, 2018, introduced by councilpersons Biassiata, Kelly, Elliott, Stager, Robel, Snitsky, and Greenwald. An ordinance to appropriate a sum not to exceed $267,487 for the purchase of one 2018 STS Freightliner M2 Braun Super Chief ambulance with appurtenances for use by the City of Seven Hills Fire Department. Said purchase to be made from Pancare Inc. of Niles, Ohio, through the Ohio Department of Administrative Services, Office of State Purchasing Contract, Ohio STS number 233, contract number 800263.
Any comments from council?
Yes, Council President.
Council.
As mentioned earlier, this amendment to add the emergency for 41-2018 was done in order to avoid delay or to be shut out on taking delivery of the new ambulance for potentially this year.
And I'd also like to add that there was a significant risk at losing the price. Any further comments from council? Do we have another motion?
Yes, Mr. President. I move that we pass amended ordinance number 41-2018.
I second.
Roll call.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Greenwald.
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Stager.
Yes.
Robel.
Yes.
Ordinance number 41-2018 has been approved. Now I have the first reading ordinance number 42-2018.
Ordinance number 42, 2018, introduced by Mayor Delaquila and councilpersons Biassiata, Kelly, Elliott, Stager, Robel, Snitsky, and Greenwald. An ordinance to amend Title V Administrative of Part 1 Administrative Code of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Seven Hills for the purpose of repealing Chapter 132, City Coordinator.
We'll now have the first reading of ordinance 43-2018.
Ordinance 43, 2018, introduced by Mayor Delacuilla and councilpersons Biassiata, Kelly, Elliott, Stager, Robo, Snitsky, and Greenwald. An ordinance to amend Chapter 148 Recreation Complex of Title V Administrative of Part 1 Administrative Code of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Seven Hills, Ohio, for the purpose of repealing Section 148.09 Front Desk Manager.
We'll now have the first reading of ordinance 44-2018.
Ordinance 44, 2018, introduced by Mayor Delacuilla and councilpersons Biassiata, Kelly, Elliott, Stager, Roble, Snitsky, and Greenwald. An ordinance enacting new Chapter 132 entitled City Office Manager as contained in Title V Administrative of Part 1 Administrative Code of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Seven Hills.
We'll now have the first reading of ordinance 45-2018.
Ordinance 45, 2018, introduced by Mayor Delacuilla and councilpersons Biassiata, Kelly, Elliott, Stager, Roble, Snitsky, and Greenwald. An ordinance to amend Chapter 144, reports from department directors and attendance at council committee meetings, as contained in Title V Administrative of Part 1 Administrative Code of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Seven Hills, Ohio.
Now have the second reading of resolution number 8-2018.
Resolution number 8, 2018, introduced by councilpersons Biassiata, Kelly, Elliott, Stager, Roble, Snitsky, and Greenwald. A resolution approving a lot split pursuant to Seven Hills Ordinance number 911.002, permanent parcel number 551-30-006, 1032 Chestnut Road.
Now the first reading of resolution number 10-2018.
Resolution 10, 2018, introduced by Mayor Delacuilla and councilpersons Biassiata, Kelly, Elliott, Stager, Roble, Snitsky, and Greenwald. Resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a memorandum of understanding between the police departments of Parma, Parma Heights, Brooklyn, Brook Park, and Seven Hills for shared crash investigation services.
Now I have the first reading, resolution number 11-2018.
Resolution number 11, 2018, introduced by councilpersons Biassiata, Kelly, Elliott, Stager, Roble, Snitsky, and Greenwald. A resolution approving a lot split and consolidation pursuant to Seven Hills Ordinance number 911.002, permanent parcel number 551-22-023.
Council is now open to the audience. First row.
You remember me, right? Tom Jarris, Crescent Ridge Drive, Seven Hills. Few things. I guess I'll get an answer in miscellaneous from Mr. Levis. A few weeks ago, I went to Valleywood Park because there was commentary online by former consul malcontent wackos about the great success of Valleywood and what they did. A few weeks ago, it looked like hell. Today, I went there and it looked really good. Service Director Levis put some sideboards around the fences, try to retain the infield, which is heading to the sewers because there's no drainage under that field. And apparently there's been some success, but it's still emptying the infield into the drainage. But it looked really nice today. I don't know if you had guys out there or what, but nifty.
I'd like to comment on that as well. If I could.
Well, and your miscellaneous.
Okay.
Okay. The other thing is, we had a revelation from Squires Boggs at the economic meeting that the old consul directed the mayor to sign the contract that didn't have changes that were recommended by Squires Boggs to the old council. I don't know specifically to whom, but I'd like to know if somebody is taking some action somewhere. So there's obvious dereliction of duty on the part of the old council and whoever was representative in those contract talks. And I'd like to know if the city, if somebody somewhere is pursuing dereliction of duty charges, because I think at least Mr. Traffus, if not the whole council, should be subject to some kind of investigation as to just what happened there. They directed the mayor to sign. The mayor wasn't aware that Boggs recommended changes, and he went ahead and signed it. And if that isn't dereliction of duty on the part of the old council or whoever their designated hitter was, then I don't know what is. But if somebody hasn't done something, then I'd like to be able to go to the police department and lodge a complaint and ask that the old council be investigated for dereliction of duty. The other issue, we had rules, we had special rules. This thing with the personal information of people that do business with City Hall. We see it ramping up on a federal level. They got a FISA court. They got the FBI. Everybody's looking. You're not supposed to spy on Americans in America. If you want to spy on constituents in Seven Hills, apparently all you have to do is go to the finance department and find somebody to blab. We've asked, a number of residents are concerned. We're looking for criminal implications to releasing personal, should be protected information of residents in general. Anything. You've been given Ohio law that protects federal tax information. No two ways about it. $5,000, 5 years in jail because it's federal tax information. Well, part of the information that can be accessed here is on federal tax information. There seems to be some reluctance in council about getting an ordinance going, and I don't know why. ORC says their penalty will apply to federal tax returns unless the municipality has an ordinance imposing a stiffer fine. So ORC in effect recommends an ordinance at a municipal level. So let's have an ordinance. If somebody wants to play Aunt Blabby at City Hall or at the rec center or whatever, let them go to the can. There's a deterrent. We don't really have a policy, even though we've heard it alluded to that we do have a policy. We don't. We had the fiasco with Longbow and Traffus and disclosing information, and it repeated itself again. So please protect the residents. You have the tools at your disposal. Just do it. We've been taking care of stuff like yard signs and stuff, but this one's important. I don't want anybody having my social security number. I don't want to have any of my information because somebody at City Hall decides it's okay to tell somebody else for whatever reason. That's wrong. Please protect your constituents. Easy. Precedent on Ohio level. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the first row? Second row? Third row? Fourth row? Fifth row?
Good evening, everybody. Matt Traffus, 541 Orchard View Road. A casual relationship with the truth is a very dangerous thing. Since I left office on December 10th, 2017, I have done everything I can to not publicly comment on anything that the mayor or the current city council is doing. It sure hasn't been easy, but I truly believe that they should be given a chance to deliver on all the promises they made last year. But now it is time for me to speak up. This morning, I read an article on Cleveland.com with the headline, Seven Hills Council President says law firm claims information was withheld regarding Rockside Road land deal. This article contains nothing but inaccurate claims, as I will demonstrate now. The council president is quoted as saying, "They," meaning Squires, "told me that they have a handful of problems with the current contract." He continued saying, quote, "They informed me that the handful of issues were given to them by then Council President Matt Traffus," end quote. In countless emails that I was copied on from Pan Hanover and Lynn Gattazzi from Squire Patton Boggs, there was communication between the city's lawyers and Glenn's Landing lawyers. Ultimately, an equitable agreement was made between both parties, and Squires gave their approval on the terms of the contract. I have an email from Assistant Law Director Christine Tobin, who was intricately involved in the contract for the sale of land, informing Lynn Gattazzi that the contract was ready to distribute. I'm not submitting this particular email to the minutes because I'm uncertain if it is a public record. I am submitting to the record as Exhibit A an email dated September 2nd, 2017 that I sent to all members of council, including Councilman Biassiata and Mayor Delaquila, with the final version attached for everyone's review and comments. The article today indicated that the contract had no purchase price included. However, Section 2 on the first page of the contract indicates a sales price of $1 million, as well as Section 14 that stated an additional $10,000 for a scoreboard, $7,500 for a border monument, $25,000 for legal and engineering fees, and an intended $57,500 in additional compensation. I couldn't believe what I read, so I called the reporter today, and I informed him what he wrote was not true. I believe he made the correction in the article, but then I asked him, how did he come to the conclusion that there was no purchase price in the contract? And his answer was that Councilman Biassiata told him that. I am also submitting to the record for the minutes, Exhibit B, which is the contract that was signed by Tom Simich of Glenn's Landing and Mayor Delaquila. The Cleveland.com article also states that there is a clause that allows the purchaser to unilaterally extend the contract. Also included in this Exhibit B on the contract is Section 4, which gives the purchaser 70 days with an extension of 90 days. The contract was signed on September 5th, 2017. The purchaser, I believe, executed the 90-day extension. With the extension, the completion of the contract with money due would have been mid-February 2018. At this point, Tony Biassiata was council president for over 2 months. What happened? Why didn't the city collect on the money and execute this contract? During the transition between councils, I offered numerous times to the incoming council president to meet and discuss items that were on the table so I could pass them off. Naturally, I never received that phone call. Now let's backtrack for just a second here. On September 5th, 2017, a meeting was held to approve the sale of the land with the contract that Squires and Glenn's Landing spent months working on. In the caucus meeting, immediately prior to passage, Mayor Delaquila said of the sale of the land, quote, "I'm happy to see it happen. It's been months since we have been talking about this. We finally came to a position and point in time that we were actually going to conclude the transaction. I wish we could have done it earlier, but here we are and we move forward," end quote. I was very happy to hear this. And then I asked Mayor Delaquila, "So you support this?" The mayor responded by saying, "Oh yeah." Now, if this deal is falling through due to lack of additional due diligence or execution on the city's part, this is certainly bad for Seven Hills. But the bigger issue may not be the sale of this city land. The bigger issue is that this city council passed the mayor's budget that accounts for over $1 million of revenue from the city land. Not only is this absolutely horrible budgeting and possibly illegal, since the revenue is not guaranteed money, but it completely manipulates the residents of Seven Hills into believing that we are more financially solvent than we actually are. How can this council possibly be voting on big ticket items and raises, knowing that the budget they approve very well could receive $1 million less in revenue this year? With this fact, I am fully anticipating that certain people will say it's not true. Well, what I will tell you is, first, look at the budget and you'll see it. If you still don't believe me, read the Cleveland.com article of April 4th, 2018, where Council President Biassiata is quoted saying, quote, "The budget contains assumptions on the revenue side, such as the sale of city property on Rockside Road," end quote. Tony, I literally cannot believe that you allowed this budget to be passed, and frankly, I'm really disappointed. I do wish everybody the best with selling this land. I truly hope it works out. If anybody wants additional background on this information, I'm happy to meet with anybody on this dais. Just give me a call. My number is 216-410-4062. And Tony, with your permission, I'm going to submit these to Carol.
Yes, please do. Please approach. I'll have additional submission later tonight.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Anybody further in the audience? All right, I'm going to start and finish because I'm going to address some of the comments made here by the previous council president. Of course, I intricately know the sales amount was $1 million plus other contingencies. There was an error on the reporter. What wasn't specified, and I wish the former councilman be here to see this. The reporter messed up. What I said was not specified in the contract was the TIF amount, that the two parties were to come to an agreement on an unspecified dollar amount. This is actually one of the items that Squire Sanders and Squire Patton Boggs told the mayor and I that was a problem. And what I'm going to be submitting in the record, I did not contact the press. So right off the bat, it was $1 million plus other factors and an undetermined TIF amount. How do you have a contract with an undetermined TIF amount? In the meeting that we voted on this, I went to Council President Travis at the time and asked him, did Squires Patton Boggs sign off on this? And he said, yes, look at all the changes they made. I did. I'll admit, I made one mistake, that I did not take the list of changes that he showed me, and I took him at his word as a man of ethics that was elected by the people to be fair to the people and share that with me. That those list of changes that he showed me never ended up in the final contract. Now, when I became council president, the first thing I did is I had our attorneys look over everything. The PUD, I wanted our council to know what our options were. There were several numbers of preliminary development plans already submitted, so we're bound to some of the actions by the previous council, and I wanted to know the facts, what we can and cannot do. In addition to having Squires review the PUD, I had them review the sales contract. Okay? And in February, the mayor and I met with them at their office and said there's a number of problems that we can't help you with the contract in its current form. And I said, fine, we'll work with the developers to put it into proper form. So then I asked Squire Patton's boss, because I do everything by the book, to send me what was communicated to the council president in terms of the changes. There were over a handful of changes. Matter of fact, there were a string of 17 emails sent to the council president. But in summary, I'm going to submit to the record what he submitted. I got my initial meeting when I found out about the problems in February. I turned immediately, did not care to get involved in this tit-for-tat petty stuff that rules Seven Hills politics. You know what I did? I didn't have a press conference. I didn't contact the people. I went about fixing it. I said, what do we got to do to fix it? And then I called the developer and I said, here, these are the items we need to fix to go forward. That's it. Never went ahead of that. Numerous council meetings I could have came forward to sling mud. No, I didn't do that because I put the people first. And having successful development in the city is putting the people first. Now, that said, my integrity has been called into play here tonight. So on March 20th, I received an email from John Larson of Squires Patton Boggs. Tony, and this will be going into the record as soon as I can print it. Tony, Attached is a string of emails showing the written comments we provided on the real estate purchase and sale agreement from August 24th through September 5th. Pam Hanover and Lynn Gattasi also had a number of telephone calls with Matt, Chris, and perhaps others at the city during that 10-day span and the days leading up to September 1st, when we learned on September 1st the council planned to go ahead and consider the ordinance approving the sales agreement. We all reached out to Matt by telephone prior to the meeting to emphasize our view that this agreement should not be approved without addressing the changes they had suggested to the city. Sorry I was not able to provide this information to you earlier. This is from Squires Patton Boggs, their reputation's on the line, and this was a letter to me, the mayor, and the other attorneys on March 20th. So there you have it. There you have it. I don't know what more to say. The previous council president was specifically advised by attorneys, do not approve this without these changes. The changes did not go in. Okay? I do not wish to make an issue of this. I haven't. I haven't brought it up at one single council meeting. I rolled up my sleeves and just attempted to get the job done, which is what I've done every single day I've been here. And now my integrity is questioned. Nor did I bring it up that day at the special caucus. A resident asked our attorney, why are we changing the thing now? And the attorney said, well, there was problems with the form. We need to change it. And then I explained how that came about. So never, not at one point, have I ever said anything bad about the last council, even though it's handcuffed my hands in a number of issues. I was a member, learned a lot, applying what I learned now. But I am not going to be part of this petty arguments that have set Seven Hills back for decades. It does nothing good for anyone. I'm transparent. Here's the facts. The attorney told me there are problems. I'm fixing the problems. And I never went to any of you. I never went to media. I didn't go on Facebook and say, here, look what they did. No, never said that. I came to work, rolled up my sleeves, and got all the problems just about figured out except for one. All right? I'm going to come back in a little bit, and we're going to do a floor motion. But for now, miscellaneous, Councilman Roble.
Nothing, Mr. President.
Hold on. Clerk? I'll come to the mayor in a second. There were a number of comments made by the audience, and I'm going to give my council an opportunity to rebut them. Councilman Greenwald.
I don't have anything to add, Mr. President.
Councilwoman Stager.
Yes, if you don't mind. Mr. Jaros and Law Director, you have that proposed ordinance and information about the privacy and the records, and you're working on that, aren't you?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's correct.
So we're trying to address that, Mr. Jaros. Thank you. Nothing further.
Councilman Elliott.
Yes, sir. To answer your question about the baseball fields, yes, the service department has been working on the fields. Unfortunately, it was after I had to send numerous emails to get them moving on it because baseball season has started. I know the fields have been bad because of the rain, but I coach a travel team. We've played in other cities so far this year, probably 4 or 5 games already. I think Seven Hills residents, and I know the Baseball Federation has been done with these excuses. I think it's time to make some changes. And as far as Valleywood, I got a call on Sunday from 2 different people who volunteered their work to make Valleywood look that way. They did it by hand. They drug the entire field by hand. Couple of the same guys that have been calling me for 3 weeks complaining about our fields. So yes, the weather's been bad. Yes, we have other issues. But we need to stop making excuses and get the job done. That's all.
Councilwoman Kelly.
Nothing further, thank you.
Director of Finance.
Nothing at this time.
Director Law.
Nothing.
Director of Public Service.
Yes, I mean, just briefly, I'm not making excuses, Pat. I think your emails were inappropriate. So you could say whatever you want. I was on vacation, and then I got sick. I put plans together to do a lot of things, including new dragging equipment. So, you know, I think the mayor's going to talk more about travel teams. He has information that's in the ordinances. But we take orders from the Baseball Federation. And, you know, not the whim of every other team. And it's done like that for a reason, because the Federation is the biggest user of the baseball fields, and they're a recognized group. And you need one entity to do the scheduling, so it's them. So, I mean, you know, we're working when we can. We did some overtime. We have other things to do besides the fields. We have roads to patch. We have other things. We were out Saturday fixing up Lombardo. So we're working as quick as we can, and people have to be patient. In fact, there's more rain on the way. 3 days of rain is forecast starting tonight. So that's all I could say.
Thank you, Service Director. Engineer?
Mr. President, if I can just give a couple milestones on the Hemlock project, if you wouldn't mind.
Oh, that'd be great.
Okay, we had a pre-construction meeting last Tuesday at 2 o'clock here at City Hall, and things are kicking off. Fabrizi Trucking and Paving was the awarded contractor for the project. Pre-construction videotaping is anticipated to begin this week. Initial construction signage will be installed after May 1st. And actual construction is anticipated to commence on May 14th. So just kind of be aware that Councilman Snitsky is aware of everything that is I just stated. And we're going to be getting a construction sequence schedule submitted by the contractor, at which I'll be sharing with you all and also posting online in case all the residents know when the contractor will actually be on his or her street. And that's all I have right now. Thanks.
Building Commissioner.
Nothing.
Mayor, reporting communications from the Mayor Safety Director.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I just want to very briefly, again, though, address the questions about the baseball fields. We have received a communication from the Federation for this current season, Baseball Federation, requesting that the fields be readied by April the 30th. I believe we are on schedule to meet that deadline, despite the really terrible weather of the last several weeks. I've been visiting the ball diamonds a couple, 2-3 times a week for the last few weeks, just to kind of stay informed as to what's going on. I can tell you I was out there on Sunday. The outfield at Calvin was still soggy. When you would walk through it, you would hear a squishing sound and your feet would actually sink into the dirt, rather the grass. I did notice, though, that the 3 diamonds there had been dragged by the service department. The leaves had been picked up. Some repairs had been made. I then went to take a look at Valleywood. As you remember, we had a pretty heavy rain the previous weekend, and much of that field topping had been washed off into the pavement area, into the sewers. The service department had been out there previously and had removed the eroded material from the walkways, and the field looked to be in pretty decent shape. I then subsequently, I believe on Sunday, received an email or text message from Councilman Elliott. Very grateful that some of our residents with some help had gone out and physically dragged the Valleywood field. That all being said, I think I have to remind everybody and concur with the service director that this isn't, the scheduling of these ball diamonds is not something that's just simply arbitrarily done. It's done in performance of our obligations under the city ordinances, and specifically I would cite everybody to ordinance 150.06 and 150.08. The first paragraph of the initial, the first line of the initial ordinance I just cited reads, anyone interested in renting the city's soccer or baseball fields will contact the recreation complex front desk manager and complete the appropriate paperwork via the rental agreement. I can tell you that, at least as of my last conversation with her, we have not received any requests from any outside groups in writing. I would also indicate that 150.08 provides under eligible groups, only recognized organized Seven Hills groups may apply for use of the community center complex, recreation complex, parks and pavilions, and baseball and soccer fields on a regular or ongoing basis. And then it goes on to describe what the parameters are to become a recognized group. So again, we try to accommodate everyone. We try to work with everybody. Our obligation, though, is to facilitate the use of those fields first and foremost by organized groups, and in this case, that's the Baseball Federation. I would just ask everybody to take a step back. We have so much controversy in this town, so much arguing going on. We just had an example of it again this evening. These are the sorts of things that I hear about when I travel in the region. I speak to other elected officials, other city officials, other mayors, and I can tell you that the kinds of things that we're witnessing going on here are really just in this room, are just the tip of the iceberg. There's far much more going on, and most of it is a disservice to this community and our residents. I have been working with the council, our attorneys, with the council president since effectively the beginning of the year to try to sort out the questions on the Rockside Road purchase and sale agreement. Yes, of course, it was a positive back last year to try to sell the land, particularly as the prior council was considering borrowing upwards of $3 million. My hope was for the road program, my hope was that that money out of the purchase and sale of that property could have been used to offset some of that borrowing. For many reasons that didn't occur. I think had we've been aware of some of the allegations that are being made now, we would have traveled a different path. We now find ourselves where we are as a result of the many things that are now coming to light. It's just another unfortunate black eye for the city. Again, I would just encourage everybody, we live here. This is our home. We don't need to have these kinds of petty arguments with each other. We're going to work together. We're going to try to sort out this purchase agreement. We're going to try to work on a TIF arrangement, but we need to turn down the volume a little bit. This is an embarrassment to our city. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My volume's always turned down, but when my integrity is called into question, I am going to defend it every day of the week and twice on Sunday.
I'm sorry, if you think I'm alluding to you, I am not. And I apologize if you interpret it that way.
You know, I've sit here, dealt a number of problems, and that's okay. That's what you elected me for. If there weren't problems to be taken care of, you wouldn't need us sitting up here. And I've done it quietly, and I've done it professionally, and I've done it by doing my homework. And that's exactly how we're approaching this current development agreement, doing the due diligence, looking to professionals. That's what we've done with every major thing. I look to professionals gain their insights. I don't sit up here and pretend to be a 30-year expert in any particular field. You know, that's where people get into trouble when they think they know more than the attorneys and the engineers and the service director and things like that. You know, you find people you trust and you act upon that guidance. That's what a leader does. You don't wear many, many hats. And I'm going to continue doing that in spite of anything. Now, we've also had commentary on the budget tonight. Any budget has assumptions. There's assumptions. We have a contract to sell the property. Okay? So that assumption's in the budget. If it doesn't happen for whatever reason, guess what? There's other assumptions in the budget. There's assumptions for equipment purchases. There's assumptions for hiring people. And guess what? I told the administration until we get this all sorted out, don't bring them. So if our revenue goes down, guess what else is going to happen? Some of the expenses aren't going to happen. I've never tooted my own horn, but if you're going to talk about my financial experience, that's what my degree's in. I got 27 years experience, Cole National, Supervisor General Counsel in Sherwin-Williams, 19 years at KeyBank, mostly in the financial field. It's what I do for a living. So, you know, we can do it the simple way or we can do it the professional way, and we're going to continue to do the professional way. You seek the advice of experts, you make assumptions, and then you make adjustments based upon changes of course. So if the revenue don't turn out what it's going to be, then the expenses aren't going to be what they're going to be. And that's called active management, okay? So that's that on that issue. I'm going to get back to the comments made tonight. They really upset me. But I'm going to take care of business first because that's my MO. I move that council, pursuant to Seven Hills Codified Ordinance 979.083, approve with the conditions that follow the application for preliminary development plan of Glens Landing LLC and Omni Senior Living, which submission was dated February 21st, 2018, as a proposed amendment to the Seven Hills Elderly Care Campus preliminary plan submission approved December 27, 2016, and which includes the public right-of-way of the Lombardo Extension South, the Elderly Care Access Road, and the Seven Hills Elderly Care Campus, which the Planning Commission on March 14, 2018 recommended be approved as reflected in the Planning Commission's report and recommendation which was provided to council. The conditions and basis for the same are as follows. Number one, that prior to approval of an application for the final development plan, the city and Glens Landing LLC enter into a mutually agreeable agreement for the sale and purchase of the city-owned parcels, which parcels are identified in and included in the preliminary development plan and are necessary for the proposed development and complete the sale. So read, basically, if we don't come to terms on what it takes to put the road in, that's a condition. You can't, got to have ingress egress. That was commentary, not part of the motion. Number two, that prior to approval for an application for final development plan, the city and Glens Landing LLC and Omni enter into a mutually agreeable TIF agreement or mutually agree that they do not desire to enter a TIF agreement in connection with the development pursuant to the preliminary and or final development plan. Number three, council notes that while the same has been requested, it and or its legal counsel have not yet been provided by the applicants all the information which has been requested in order for the city to properly review and analyze the applicant's request for TIF. Okay, that's the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
And before we vote, I'll add commentary that much information has been provided to this date, and we're looking for more because we want to be careful with this decision. Any further comment from council? Roll call, please.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Greenwald.
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Stager.
Yes.
Robel.
Yes.
Motion's been passed. Okay, I'll wrap up. Thank you all for coming. I hope it's clear what my position is on the budget. If the revenue doesn't come in, we'll make adjustments to the expenses to the best we can without impacting resident services as best as possible. I did read tonight, and I will be entering in the record a letter from the city's attorney to me, the mayor, and our other legal representatives that it was repeatedly urged upon the prior council president not to approve the contract without the adjustments required. That'll be in the meeting minutes distributed to all you next week. So those of you who have been following this council meetings for the last 3 years know that I don't speak often, but when I do, it's factual, and I've done my homework, and I've tried everything humanly possible for the last several months for this not even to come up. It's been my attempt just to fix it and have the city move forward. But here we are, and I'll continue doing my job the best of my ability. I motion to adjourn council meeting at 9:15.
Second.
I apologize, but I'm going to decline.
I second.
Roll call.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Greenwald.
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Stager.
Yes.
Robel.
Yes.
Council's adjourned. I didn't hear
Christmas
that.
Thank you. Great.
Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.